Welcome to a special Northside Festival edition of Cigar City Radio. I'm your host, Randy Ojeda, and making the magic happen, Mr. Jason Solanes.
Hey, Randy, I came up with another thing.
Oh, no. What did you come up with now?
It's called a hyper whistle.
Wait, what? A hyper what?
A hyper whistle.
Okay. What is it?
It's when you pour...
Oh, man. That would seriously burn, dude. Don't do that.
I'm never going to do that.
Oh, okay.
Someone out there will appreciate that.
Really?
It's going to sound like beep.
Yeah. For more episodes, head to cigarcityradio.com or subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search for Cigar City Radio. You can also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And on all those networks, our username is Cigar City Radio. We want to extend a big thank you to everybody that came out to Noche Buena Northside, our official Northside Festival showcase, which took place this past Thursday in Brooklyn, New York. Big thank you to Northside Festival for having us, letting us be a part of this year's fest. Big thank you to all the bands that performed: Salt Cathedral, Dirty Dishes, Fruit and Flowers, Yucky Duster, and this week's guest, Parrot Dream. And big thanks, of course, again to everybody that came and partied with us. It was an awesome night. All the bands kicked ass. It was just a really great night.
Everyone was happy. We were happy. The fans were happy. That's what we're all about, man. We'll
be announcing the next Noche Buena party very soon, so keep an eye on cigarcitymanagement.com for all the info about that. And speaking of Cigar City Management, our guests on this episode were our very first clients at Cigar City Management, Parrot Dream. And they should sound very familiar to you if you've listened to this podcast at all, because they actually performed the theme song for our podcast, Queen of Hearts, which was a track from their EP, Set Sail Someday. Also, Gonzalo from Parrot Dream actually designed the Cigar City Radio logo, so if you love that blue stereo, that was all Gonzalo. So check out Parrot Dream online, stream their stuff on Spotify and Tidal. Shout out to Tidal, by the way. We hung out with the Tidal team while we were at Northside Festival, and they actually interviewed Parrot Dream and Fruit and Flowers, basically hosted us for the day. I think we spent most of the day hanging out at the Tidal Lounge. They had some great food and drinks, and it was just a really good time. So shout out to them. Shout out to any of you that are using Tidal. So listen to Parrot Dream on there. Listen to Parrot Dream wherever you listen to music. For more info and tour dates, head to parrotdreamband.com. So here it is.
Live from New York, it's Cigar City Radio!
Sitting here in Ridgewood, Queens, hanging out with Gonzalo and Kiki from Parrot Dream.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
So, I remember it very clearly. The email I got from you guys, the initial email. You were our very first clients.
It's true. We have that privilege.
Yeah, you were, because we were still doing management, but like in a different kind of capacity, and it wasn't Cigar City Management yet, you know. And then I got an email from you guys, and it was basically you said like, hey, like we're, you know, the EP had just come out, Set Sail Someday, and you sent that, and then you said that you were leaving Chile. I don't think you had moved yet, and that. I think the initial...
Or we had just moved, maybe?
Actually, it was,
because you didn't move till the beginning of the year.
No, it was like 2 months after we moved here or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
We moved here like in August, and that it was like in
October.
Yeah. October or something like that.
Yeah, but I remember that was basically the gist was you were like, we just moved here from Chile and we want to navigate the New York scene somehow, like we need help getting our name out here in the city. And it just seemed like a perfect opportunity to work with somebody really cool and interesting. I remember I sent the SoundCloud around to people so they could listen to your stuff, and everybody was like, this music is incredible. Like, this stuff is amazing. I knew that, and I was like, all right, we gotta work with this band for sure. And then I think we pretty much jumped like right into it. I remember booking a bunch of stuff.
Actually,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
I remember you guys booking a lot.
We was in the process to we was planning like this tour in the winter.
Yeah.
With our friend Pancho and Diego.
Yeah.
that
From Chile. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from Chile.
Yeah, you did a run of shows in like,
Yeah, we did like 6 shows in February. That
Yeah.
it was like terrible weather.
Yeah. Oh man, I
That was
remember.
insane.
I remember your first show in the city, if I recall, was just the two of you too. It wasn't even like a full band thing. Remember? It was
Yeah,
like,
I think it was-
what venue was that? I don't even know if that venue
It
is
was
still around.
like an Alphabet.
It was in Alphabet
No,
City, but I don't
it
know
was
if
the Alphabet Lounge. I
yes,
think.
I don't know if that venue is
Yeah,
still
that was
around.
like the weird.
Is it?
I think there is,
Yeah.
but it was it's literally like a hallway. And there was the bartender and then 2 of our friends in there. That was it.
Hey, first show in New York City,
Hey.
though,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's
Yeah, actually,
gotta
it
break
was
in.
memorable.
Yeah, it was definitely memorable. We didn't even see the band until the first North Side that we went to, where you guys had that slot at Pete's Candy Store, and that was another like really intimate venue. But I remember that place like filled up for you guys, which was pretty cool. And that was when we first saw you. That was the first Parrot Dream performance
That's true.
that we saw.
Yeah, now that's 2 years ago.
I know, and the band's changed significantly.
Yes,
like it's
for sure.
in
Yeah,
sound
we have
and
been
in,
through
yeah.
like many changes.
Yeah.
Like and many members and yeah.
But now you have Matt playing bass, Matthew Sklar, and it
Yes,
seems like he's going to be around for a little while.
Yeah, mine is great. We love him.
Yeah, he's super cool, and he's super like, I love when all the members of the band like promote shows and post about them and share what's going on. And Matt's like,
Yeah, he's on it.
He's on it, and he's in a
really
bunch of
invested.
bands too, and every band like is really cool, and he plays out a lot. I don't know how he does that.
Yeah, we Gonzalo says when we want to know what band to go see one night that we have to look at Oh My Madness instead of Oh My Rockness.
That's
my
Text
God.
Matt, and he knows
Yeah.
exactly what's happening.
Yeah, he even like
He knows everything.
Yeah, he even left a
What's
comment on
happening
my
every night.
status today. It was saying like, if you're going out in Brooklyn tonight, let me know. Well, like I definitely will. Like, yeah, I want your recommendation for sure. But
Yeah, but for sure like the process, like the last 2 years or the last year had been interesting. Like the last year, like working in the new album, like with Goose, that he went back to Chile, and with Matt, that they both like were like very like a big-
Involved.
involved in like in the process of like writing the new songs and like recording the new songs.
yeah, and you've really taken your time with that. It's just like,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
I've
you're
been
like,
like
yeah,
a year and like and a half now
yeah,
working on new stuff.
yeah, working on it and writing and recording and
Yeah.
It
Like,
takes a lot longer than
We
one
start to
would think.
record like in January 2nd.
yeah, wow, and it's still yet to be released, but it's
Correct. It's
Yeah.
getting close.
It's
Yeah,
it's
very
it's
close.
getting there, but
It's
that's
being mixed.
that's one of the things that I appreciate about you guys, though, is that you can tell that your sound is very carefully put together. It's not like, I can tell you spent time on every individual note or element of the sound. It's not hastily put together, So I appreciate that you take your time putting your music out, and that works for some bands. It doesn't work for other bands, but I think it works for you.
Yeah. And this case, I think it was more like an exploration also, because we was happy. So it was okay what we did, like with the last EP and like the first EP, but now it's more like it was like an exploration of the sound and like think more like in the music itself, like the arrangement and like think a little bit more in what we want to do. I think
Yeah.
that's why it took more time. I think so.
Yeah, because the creation and production of the EP was like really fast. It all happened over the course of maybe 4 months.
4 months. Everything.
Wow.
From
I
like
didn't know that.
beginning to end. Yeah. It was super speedy. So as Gonzalo was saying, this has been really interesting because we've been able to experiment more.
And also like the Jungle single, like those 2 songs that we released, that was like the end of like the first period of Parrot Dream a little bit.
Yeah, because that wasn't something that you still did with Diego and Pancho, right?
Yeah, those songs were from Chile. But like after that, it was like, okay, like a total change of like mine and also like other influence, like living here and like amazing, like seeing amazing music and like listening, like discovering like new bands and everything, new sounds.
Yeah.
So it was like a wake a little bit for me in that sense.
Yeah.
And also for Christina. But yeah, I think it was like the beginning, like the end and the beginning of like
A new
new stuff.
stage.
Yeah. It's the new. Yeah, because I mean, you've been in New York for 2 years now. You know, you're. Can you call yourselves New Yorkers? What's the debate? I know that's a big debate.
Yeah, I think it's either you're born here or you've lived here for
Forever.
I am
At least
used to
6
here
years.
and
I
like
think it's
I
about
like
6
it,
years.
so I don't know.
Do you don't want to go back to Chile?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No. Yeah, I say not yet because it's
Yeah, you never
always
know.
the possibility.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can imagine it's probably been a big change, music scene wise. What's the biggest difference between Chile and New York City? I mean, that's like almost sounds silly to say because there's no place like New York City. But
But you say like in the music.
yeah, what's the biggest
Like-
difference in the music scene?
I think like first like the side of the scene. Like here is like a jungle. It's like so many bands like
many venues.
Yeah.
And there like you know everybody and it's very small scene and it's more there are not so many venues like
There's
good venues.
like a handful.
It's hard to get like good shows like or get the good venue
Yeah.
to get a show in there and you need to build that like network and know people and start to it's like the same here
Yeah.
in some way but a little
Different.
bit is different.
Yeah, because here it's like if you just want to play somewhere, I mean, there's going to be a place where you could find some place to
Exactly,
play. There's a
yeah.
lot of venues here, but getting into the right shows and the right venues is the hard part, you know. And that's where you realize like New York's a really, really big city, but it's also a very close-knit music scene. You know, there's only so many people that are really doing music in a significant way in New York, and that's surprising to me. That was one of the first things I learned helping you guys, you know, start doing more stuff in New York was that like, wow, like the same guy that books over here is also booking over there and doing this. And there's,
Yeah.
you know, a handful of like, you know, really good curators and promoters that are really keeping the scene alive, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
The other thing that I don't think people realize is the turnover in venues in New York. I can't even fathom how many venues in the last 2 years have opened and closed since we've started working together.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
like changing every
Yeah, all the
month.
time.
Yeah,
They're all the time. And that's and you know, obviously there's a lot of reasons for that. I guess there's, you know,
Yeah.
it's a tough city to stay alive in.
Yeah.
You know?
Actually, before came here, we had 3 shows in Chile. And there are there are 3 cities, like big cities in Chile that they have like a scene, like Valparaiso, Santiago, and Concepcion. But you need to repeat the venue like every month if you wanna play. So it's like you play always in the same place.
Yeah, that's and that's definitely not the case here because even
No.
they don't want you to play in the same place every month. Like
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and then there's like the DIY scene, which is ever present and always changing for many reasons.
yeah.
Partly because of I think the monster of gentrification and just the fast-paced change
Yeah.
on the whole in New York City.
Well, and that's something I've dug about what you've been doing too is I feel like Gonzalo, you especially have gotten really involved in the DIY scene here, like from working at Silent Barn, and
Yeah,
you were working at Silent Barn pretty early when it opened, right?
No. They opened like a long time ago.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. that.
Yeah. I just started to volunteer with them, like almost a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Like doing design stuff.
Yeah.
Like little projects with them, collaborations and stuff like that. Booking some shows like for Parrot Dream mostly.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple of time there.
Yeah, I would always see a Facebook
amazing.
post or something, and like with artwork from Silent Barn, and I'm like, oh, I know Gonzalo made that. Like, it's, all your stuff is really unique, but there's a signature sort of Gonzalo visual style that I can pick out after seeing so many posters.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that actually initially drew me to the band when you first reached out to me, was the fact that I could tell you were really particular and interested in the design and the visual side of the band. It wasn't just about the music, even from like the website to just the colors you use on, the social media pages or the way you present your pictures. It's all your design, it's your style. You don't just put up random stuff. That's something that has always amazed me. And it gives you a very big leg up as a band because you have a marriage of design, visuals, and music, that some bands, they'd have to hire a creative director, or they'd have to go outside of the band to find somebody who can give it a distinct visual style, but, might not be the one that's also writing the music. I think it makes a really big difference.
Yeah. It's been great, and it's all Gonzalo.
He's like, I don't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's like great to like mix. For me, it's like a pleasure, like mix design and music.
Yeah.
Like mostly.
Did you go to
makes
school
me-
for design?
Yeah, I went to school for design, but for industrial design,
Oh, like
like creating
iPhones.
products, yeah, like furniture and like any kind of products.
Yeah.
When I moved here, I started to explore more like graphic design, do my own stuff, like freelance stuff, and yeah, mostly that.
That's really cool.
And
I really wish I had been around for your exhibit that you did recently. I don't know if you want to tell the listeners a little bit about that.
it was like a kind of a random invitation from Joe, that he works in Silent Bar and also in this organization called Clock Tower Radio. And they produce like events around arts and music, and it's very diverse. And they have a space in Pioneer Works that is like a huge organization in Red Hook. And they had this small like gallery. They sent me like an open invitation to do what I want.
Yeah, whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah. So it was basically a recopilation of like personal work related to like mostly prints and posters that talk about my experience like an immigrant here in New York. Mostly like related to identity and like racial stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I,
Like small interactions and like my daily basis, like everyday interactions.
like, you want to give us an example?
I have this poster that say gringos don't know how to say hello. That's from like my experience going like to I don't know, like everywhere, like to a party and my job. Like when you go into a room and you are like approaching to a person, it's like very awkward moment. Like you don't know how to approach, you don't know if say hello with a handshake or like I am used to like the Latin American way, that it's like a kiss, like a very warm like handshake, or like a hug, a kiss with men and women. So it's like very natural and warm. But that was like the first thing that I experienced, but it was interesting in some way. Like it was always very awkward and
Yeah.
Yeah, that reflects also, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, I didn't know if it was like something of New York or like more general, like in the whole country. But if you think a little bit more in that little interaction, it's like what it is. It's like fear.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's like insecurity. It's like microaggressions. I don't know. Can be different things.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes people even it's like you are invisible. Like even look at you or something.
Yeah.
When you are in like small spaces or something like that. Like if you go to a party in like an apartment or something. Also, there are people that say hello, it's very friendly, but like the general thing is like awkward thing.
And I think it also comes from like a place of ignorance at times too, because I know like I remember my mom first moved to the U.S. like right before I was born, so I remember going with her to English classes and stuff where she was learning English, and I remember sometimes going to like a store and her talking to somebody and them thinking that she's dumb because she didn't use a word correctly, or she still had a stronger accent at that time. She's not, it's just like, imagine if you left left America or the US, I'm sorry, because we're not just the US left the
America
States.
America's not a country.
Yeah, I know. Left the States and went to, China or Japan where you didn't speak the language. People would probably think you were stupid too, because
or maybe they would.
Or maybe
they
that's
wouldn't,
American
because they're
thing.
respectful towards the fact that you don't speak the language, don't know the culture.
Yeah, but your English is very good. I got to give you that. What are you talking about?
It's all right.
Yeah, but I always thought that was interesting growing up, with seeing my mom like navigate life as an immigrant to this country, and I always had a lot of respect for the fact that she came here, she learned English, then she became a citizen. She says that besides, my birth and the birth of my brother, that was her proudest day, was becoming a U.S. citizen, and it's like she had to work for that. She had to go to classes and do a lot. She wasn't just born here and suddenly she's, gets all these extra things, And so I've always had a lot of respect for somebody that immigrates to any other country, and starts a life in a place that they've never lived before. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have that experience. I'm from right outside New York City.
Okay.
It's Westchester.
Oh, that's everything outside of the city is upstate to me.
Like New Yorkers say it's upstate, but it's literally 5 minutes away from the Bronx.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not really upstate. Yeah. I grew up there, and then I went to school upstate, and then I moved to New York.
And then you moved to Chile?
And then I moved to Chile for about 5 years.
And what prompted that?
Well, I studied Spanish at university, and I really love Spanish as a language, so I wanted to go and live in South America, in a country where I could potentially be employed, and that was Chile. They have quite a market for English teachers there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of countries do.
For sure.
Yeah, because everybody's you have to learn English, right? Like that's the language, right?
Yeah, I mean, depending on what your objectives are in life, yes, it can be really helpful. So I read that it was easier to find a job there, which it was. And so I went and wanted to live for a year there, but then I stayed longer.
Did you stay longer because of him?
I mean, I did meet him, yes, within like 3 months of moving there.
Really?
Yeah.
That soon? Mm-hmm. Was it love at first sight?
We met very drunk in a party. It was a show, actually.
Yeah, I think I asked you for a cigarette.
Yeah.
That's how it starts,
Yes,
man. That's how it starts.
We was smoking inside.
Yes.
Actually, it was like the last
before.
area you can smoke like inside of
really?
bars and stuff.
Yeah, that was fun.
And we start to
Then we
hang out.
to hang out. Yes.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
And at one point, did you start like writing music together?
I think maybe like a year and a half, or maybe 2 years later, even. Kind of not so long ago at all.
We start.
Maybe
Yeah,
like
we
four,
started like
4 years ago.
no, we started to live together like after 6-8 months or something. and we share an apartment with two friends that is still they still were in college. So it was crazy.
Yeah.
And we start to make like a folk song. So like we have a little melodica,
Oh yeah.
and like a acoustic guitar. And I remember we made like 3 songs or something like that, like the first 3 songs. And one of those was like Roses for Arms.
Really?
Yeah, that we include in the first EP.
Is that why you love that song so much?
Yeah.
Because it was one of the first
Yeah,
ones.
actually, also because it was a time that I was like with this friend I was living with these friends that they were like
Childhood.
childhood friends. And one of them like died like after 2 years. So
Oh,
I have a lot
sorry.
of memories about those songs because he loved those songs. We play like in parties or
Yeah,
stuff like that. So like,
that's cool. Man.
yeah.
Yeah, there was one that he really liked in particular.
Yeah, I remember. I remember the song, but yeah,
We should
Yeah,
record that.
maybe someday.
Yeah.
Do you guys know it? Like, did you just play it? Is that a thing that could happen?
What's it called? Remember?
One is Petals, Roses for
Yeah,
Arms.
pedals.
Another one,
Petals.
no, I don't remember.
No.
So if I mess around with
good
the
lyrics
guitar,
in
I
that
can
one.
remember,
Yeah.
after like 30 minutes or something.
Kiki, you write all the lyrics, right?
Yes.
You're the sole lyricist. Gonzalo never
I
chimes in
am.
with.
Well, sometimes it's more like I'm more like a translator, because Gonzalo often comes up with a melody and he's sort of humming, singing words that aren't exactly real English words,
Yeah.
but they sort of sound like some words in English. So I mean, sort of like humming, but
Kiki
it kind of
found
sounds like
meanings
English,
and those
I can,
mumblings.
yeah,
It's interesting.
So yeah,
I'm
so
interpreting.
you're interpreting the
his-
mumbling.
The mumbling. Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, that often happens.
Yeah. How come you don't have any songs in Spanish?
We've talked about that quite a few times. I would really like to do one. We talked about doing a couple of covers in Spanish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We were thinking do something. Violeta Parra.
By Violeta Parra, yeah.
Was that the
the
Chilean folk singer?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were just telling us about it.
What else? What was
We were
thinking?
talking about Suavemente the other
Dude,
night.
yes.
Elvis Crespo.
Amazing. I
Yes.
love
Oh,
that
that'd be so good.
Suavemente. That'd be really
Oh, please do that.
Actually,
Play that
he-
tomorrow, please.
He's from Queens. He grew up in
Elvis
Queens.
Crespo's from
yeah,
Queens?
with a family
What?
from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Damn, we should hang out with Elvis Crespo.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
What's he
we're
up
going
to?
to play that song.
You're gonna
the
play it
cover.
tomorrow for real?
No, not tomorrow.
No.
But soon.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I cannot wait for that. It'll be so cool. The new album is coming out this year. We think.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what's cool is, there's no rush. Like I feel like people are still discovering and going through the songs that you have, so there's time.
Yeah, but like we are talking, like we put a goal. We have been very patient with time, but we want to finish this like soon
Yeah.
and like put out, because already we are thinking like on writing new songs.
Yeah, great.
So
I'm excited for like the rest of the world to hear it, because we've been hearing, demos and
Yeah.
and like scratch sessions and stuff like for so long that, oh man, it's gonna be cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
we're
am excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it. And then after that, we're gonna hit up Spain and Mexico City and
We
all-
we want to play a lot, go on tour the most possible.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I say those to like Mexico and Spain in particular because that's where a lot of your listens come from
Yeah,
on
that's
Spotify is from those two countries, which is really interesting. You were on a really cool Spotify playlist, Spanish Spotify playlist called Diarios de Bicicletas. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're still on that
But
playlist
that was
or not.
from Spain?
That was from. I'm pretty sure that was from Spain.
Okay.
I might be wrong on that. Spotify, if you listen to this,
Or
correct
Mexico,
me.
yeah.
Email me. But yeah, it might have been Mexican playlist. But either way, you know, maybe that was it.
Yeah,
It's
but-
amazing how powerful those Spotify playlists can be, because you were also Jungle was on Undercurrents for the longest time, and that's like, to me, like, you know, Undercurrents, whoever curates that, the bands that are on that list end up like blowing up shortly after, you know. So you know, you never know. So I feel a little bad springing this on you. We probably should have brought it up to them sooner, but we were talking about, because you know the theme song to this podcast is Queen of Hearts by Parrot Dream. We're wondering if you wanted to do a little performance of that song for us to close out this episode.
Whoa. So just like acoustic?
Yeah, just us here. We're hanging out. I'd love to hear
need
it.
to remember that.
Yeah,
to
we would
remember
need to practice
my
for
guitar?
like 5 minutes.
Okay, that's fine.
Your heart there on the table, pen right here on my sleeve, on my sleeve. Your red heart bleeding there, pen boxed up in your hands, in your hands.